In this video, we discuss the first law of thermodynamics. First, we introduce a new concept, which is to represent the total energy of the particles in a system by a single quantity that we call the internal energy. So the internal energy, which we represent by the letter U, is the sum of the kinetic energies of all the constituents and the sum of all the potential energies of interactions among all the particles. So if we have a system which contains a certain amount of particles, this system has an internal energy U. Then if we add heat to the system, Q is the quantity of heat added to the system, and then the internal energy will increase by an amount delta U is equal to Q. And if the system does some work, then W is the amount of work done by the system, then the internal energy will decrease by W. So in total, the change of internal energy is delta U is equal to Q minus W. And this is what we call the first law of thermodynamics. It is nothing but just the conservation of energy. Right? There is energy that is added in the form of heat, and there is energy that is lost in the form of work. Now, note that there are two versions of the first law of thermodynamics. The one we use in this class considers that Q is the energy added to the system, and W is the work done by the system. And so in this case, the first law of thermodynamics is written as delta U is Q minus W. But there is another convention where we consider W as the work done on the system. And so in this case, the first law of thermodynamics is written as delta U is Q plus W. In physics or in chemistry, we often want to study the properties of a system. For example, we want to study a gas or a bunch of particles, so it is natural to consider the work that is done on the system. But for engineers, what is important is the work that can be done by the system. So the version that is more convenient for engineers is the one where the work done by the system is positive. And so the first law is delta U equal Q minus W. Now, let's do an example of problem. Let's say that you have 1 gram of liquid water at 100 degrees Celsius, and it has a volume of 1 cubic centimeter. And you add heat at a constant pressure until all of the liquid is transformed into steam. And now you have 1 gram of steam, and it has a volume of 1,671 cubic centimeters. So what is the increase in internal energy? In the beginning of this video, we learned that delta U is equal to Q minus W. So we also have seen in previous videos that you have learned how to calculate the heat during a phase transition and also the work done by a gas during a volume expansion. And so you can calculate Q and you can calculate W. And I will let you do the math. What we find is that most of the heat that is added to the water, in fact, it remains in the system in the form of internal energy. And just a small amount of that energy leaves the system as the system expands from liquid to vapor, right? And does work against the surrounding during the expansion. Now, coming back to the internal energy, one important note for ideal gases is that, remember, for ideal gases, one of the assumptions is that we neglect the interactions among particles. And so that means that the internal energy only contains terms such as the kinetic energy of translation, which we have seen is 3/2 nRT, or a term such as the kinetic energy of rotation, which is equal to 2/2 nRT for diatomic molecules or linear molecules, and it is 3/2 nRT for non-linear molecules. And it also contains terms such as the kinetic and potential energy of vibration, which is 1/2 nRT per modes of vibration for each the kinetic and the potential energy. And so you see that all of those terms only depend on the temperature. So that means that the internal energy for ideal gases depends only on the temperature, not on the pressure or the volume. And this is an important result for ideal gases that we will use often in thermodynamics of gases.